Buenas tardes, bienvenidos a ¿Qué pasa mujer? Good afternoon, welcome to ¿Qué pasa mujer? We're here every Sunday at Eastern Standard Time. ¿Qué pasa mujer has been on the air for almost 3 years with our wonderful producer Mark. If it wasn't for him, you wouldn't be able to see us. Estamos aquí todos los domingos, ya llevamos casi 3 años haciendo este show. Nos encanta tener esta plataforma que tenemos en referencia de poder dar información, recibir información, compartir información con ustedes de nosotras y también de nuestros especial, ¿cómo se dice? Guest, se me olvidó. ¿Dónde está Mari cuando la necesitas? Nuestros invitados. Entonces, vamos a celebrar también el mes de noviembre. Estamos celebrando el mes de noviembre porque ya quedan poquitas semanas para el 2025. Entonces, tenemos que tener nuestras metas listas, empezando para pensar en nuestras metas para el próximo año. So we're celebrating the month of November because we only have a few weeks left for 2024. We have to start getting ready for 2025. Our new resolutions that we have every year. So we're going to go ahead and bring on Maddie. I don't know if Nicte's ready, but if Nicte's not ready, we're just going to go ahead and bring Maddie on so we can kind of talk about what has been going on. Hola, Maddie.
Buenos días, buenas tardes, ¿cómo están?
Estamos un poquito lentos. Y también aquí, we could go ahead and bring Maddie in. Nicte. Hola, Maddie, ¿cómo estás?
Hola, hola, ¿cómo estás, Nicte?
Bien, ¿cómo están, mujeres?
Un poquito lentos solamente. No sé si soy yo o... Sí, a lo mejor. Ok, voy a seguir hablando. So, Mary, cuéntanos un poquito algo positivo que pasó esta semana en tu vida.
Algo positivo que pasó esta semana. Bueno, tengo que decir que han pasado muchas cosas. So, you know, ¿estamos en inglés o en español hoy? Okay. So,
surprise us.
Okay, ha sido una semana positiva porque estamos aquí. So every day that we get to make it and that we get to wake up is a positive day. So I'm thankful for that. I do have to say, last night I was part of an amazing show. It was a fundraiser to bring awareness about postpartum depression and the things that happen during birth and after birth that women don't talk about. Y lo voy a decir en español. Anoche tuve la oportunidad de ser parte de un evento que estaban recaudando fondos para una fundación que ayuda a mujeres cómo interactuar durante el parto y lo que pasa después del parto, a la depresión, a todas las cosas que no hablamos y que pueden llevar a que una mujer tenga problemas después de tener un bebé. Y fue una oportunidad que me abrió mucho los ojos porque son cosas que nosotros como mujeres pasamos en silencio y no las hablamos. So it was wonderful just to be in a room where everybody was talking about their experiences, and it was very different experiences, but things that you're like, I know that feeling. I went through that, but you never say it out loud. And that's why I think sometimes when we go through things, we isolate ourselves because we don't say them out loud because we think we are the only ones feeling it. So just to be in a room where it was safe to go ahead and say what you were going through. And there were so many different things. There was a woman that lost her baby at 15 months old. There, NICU babies, so many experiences, so it was wonderful to be in the room, to be able to share a little bit of my story of, being a mother and, do poems and stuff. So that was, it was beautiful. And, but most of all, like always, I always say, when you do poems, it never gets old to have somebody come up to you and tell you, how you, it's like, I didn't want to be here, but my daughter made me be here. And then while you were up there speaking, my daughter felt that you were speaking to her. And because of this, she was going to make changes in her life or whatever, and I got a message afterwards, and it was like, oh my, did I do all that? I was just speaking there for 15 minutes. And so, just to know that you have the ability to be able to impact someone's life in 15 minutes by telling my story, it's always an amazing feeling, an undescribable feeling. And I guess the reason why you get the guts to go up there and stand on stage and, bare your soul. So
nice. I love it when you do that. What about you? What about you, Nikte? What's going on? Tell us something positive that's happening in your world.
I'm drinking agua. No, just kidding.
Besides la silla.
mommy juice. It's mommy juice.
See? No, literally, it's agua. I'm trying to stay more hydrated because I've been working on trying to drink more water. I know water is good. I think I've been feeling my allergies a little bit more because it's been raining a lot here, which is beautiful because we get to see more greenery. Aquí ha estado lloviendo un poquito más, siendo un poquito más de alergia, pero estoy tomando agüita para ayudar y lo lindo de tanta lluvia es que la tierra, mamá tierra, se crece, se ve más hermosa, vemos el pasto más verde. So just loving those things about rain, and it rains, it's not like the normal rain on the mainland where you get its pour. Es lluvia pacífica, I don't know how you call it, es tranquilita, la lluvia, bien bonita, bien relajante. So that's kind of what I've been doing. It's been busy, gracias a Dios está un poquito más ocupado para mi negocio. And my little one did get sick over the weekend. So, we have all our systems. Everything's good. He's in much better spirits today. So that's always good. So taking it easy, enjoying the weather, and celebrando la vida. ¡Salud!
Let's say, before we keep on going, we're going to say hola to Lily Matos, Tangi, I'm going to say your maiden last name, Tangi, and Olga saying hello as well. For me, I can't think of the highlight for the week, but I'm just, we're celebrating my grandmother's birthday. Her 89th birthday was yesterday. And I just love the I could only imagine just the paths that she has been through, the things that she has seen, heard, said, the mistakes that she has made, the things that she has had to overcome for Nikte and I to be part of this world in the United States, I just think it's, for those of you that don't know, Nikte is my first cousin. So that's why I say that. So we're related by blood. And I just think it's amazing. Nikte's mom is with me. That's why my hair looks different today. You already know Nikte. She's always trying to do the most. It's just nice to see my grandmother interact with her two daughters. Her son lives in Colombia, so he wasn't able to be here. But it's nice to see how the three of them interact and how my grandmother tries to get spoiled, but it's like she likes it, but she doesn't like it. And when she's not getting it, she'll do something to try and get attention. So I love all of that. And we're eating tamales, Colombian tamales, for her birthday. And so that was the highlight of my week, is just in preparation for her birthday. That's it. I just love it.
Frozen?
We can hear you fine.
All right.
You are frozen, but we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you live, but you're frozen. It's okay. So do you guys remember, I think it was back in March, we had a guest, Karin, and she was the one that talked about, she's in a male-dominated a career, and she does the upholstery for airplanes, aircraft. So she's with us again today. Nos va a actualizar en sus negocios. Y acuérdate, una de las cosas que me acuerdo fue que she was in the middle of negotiation with
Delta.
With the airport. I think it was with the airport.
Oh, with the airport. Yes.
Yeah. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. Anonite, had a connection with her because of the whole Nikte is a very creative, colorful, and she's always sitting behind her desk, her computer doing magic, but she can get dirty. She can get her hands dirty and work on a vehicle as well. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to ask Mark to go ahead and bring Karin Rojas on so we can kind of get started with our conversation. Hola, Karin.
Hola, bienvenida.
Muy contenta de tenerte en el show hoy de nuevo. Nos encanta tu energía, nos encanta la profesión que tú eres una máster en esa profesión. Nos sentimos muy orgullosas de que eres una mujer latina y tienes un negocio próspero y que te encanta y que es tu pasión especialmente. Entonces, queremos que nos digas un poquito y nos actualices, conjugando mis verbos, que nos actualize en los proyectos que estás haciendo ahorita, Karin. Cuéntanos.
Bueno, después de la entrevista, fíjese que yo me enfermé con corona, tuve COVID y yo no pude trabajar por un par de meses y yo recién hace 2 meses creo que me siento otra vez normal. Bueno, no todavía, pero estoy ahí. Yo perdí bastante peso y no podía cargar las cosas que tenía que cargar para el trabajo, pero ya hace 2 meses estoy empezando otra vez con las cosas creativas. Yo les mandé unas fotitos ahí que quisiera, pues, que si las pueden enseñar en un momento, pero con lo del comentario del aeropuerto, me dieron ese contrato. Gané el contrato por 5 años. So, yo soy la única persona que ellos pueden usar para hacer los interiores para los private jets, los helicópteros, y las cosas, los aviones privados, no los comerciales, pero los privados, los clientes que tienen como like high-end clients, and they pay like, I don't want to talk numbers, but they pay a lot of money to get the design placed in their airplane. So we just finished that job, and I'm saying we because the technicians at the airport, they actually do a lot for me. They gave me assistance, which is amazing. Like I have an assistant. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm just little me. But yeah, I'm actually the designer there, and I'm like, we're gonna do this red, we're gonna do this pink. I mean, never pink, but we're gonna do this blue. We're gonna use this type of leather, this quality of leather. We're gonna shave the leather, and I just basically guide them on, for perfection, because the seats have to be perfect to my standards. So they're very happy with me. They are. We just finished this private jet. It was about 9 seats. I did the bathroom, did the seats, the pilot, the co-pilot, and I did the it's called a yoke, the steering wheels for the airplane. So I had to hand stitch all of that, and it just came out very, very nice, better than what I was expecting.
Wow. So what is the biggest difference between working on an aircraft versus a vehicle?
Well, working on a car, everything is so heavy. Like it's just heavy for my muscles to carry. I mean, I'm capable to carry them. Anybody is, but when it comes to the aircraft, the seats are probably 45% smaller than the actual seats in a car. They're lighter because they have to be in air, so as lighter as possible. That's always the vision. Oh yeah, those are the images. So you see the headliner, everything just coordinates, everything is cohesive. And yeah, I'm excited. I just cannot believe, like when I look at the picture, I'm like, oh my gosh, did I make that? I can't believe it.
I love it. Just like the stitching, you could tell the stitching, the detail of the work.
Yeah.
Very nice.
It was the design process is what takes the longest, to be honest. The stitching to me is very easy, but the design process is a killer for me because you have to be very precise on the size of the diamonds. Like the size of the diamonds for the headliners actually is a lot bigger than the seats, than the design on the seats. Because the headliner takes a lot longer to do because it's a bigger job. But whenever the headliner is on the roof of the car, it looks the same size as the diamonds on the seeds. So all of that, the visual, that's where I come in and I just make everything be perfect.
Wow.
That's
What do you think?
amazing.
I could see Nicta's brain.
It's so cool. It's so cool. And the guys did the carpet and the sides. I didn't have anything to do with that, but they were like always like asking me questions. And I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't know. Because that's not sewing, but I did. I was involved in the whole design process of the colors and everything for, for everything to have like a final look. It's just like a fashion show, whenever you get dressed and for dinner or something, you have to coordinate your earrings, you have to coordinate the texture of the fabric, the silhouette, everything is the same. When it comes to fashion and interiors, it's basically the same thing because you have to accessorize different things. The eyes read colors, and that's where my specialty is. So it's very amazing. It's very, I don't know. I don't know how to say it, but I'm like, when I see the pictures, I'm like so excited. So the picture that we're showing right now, that is a Darth Vader inspired vehicle. It's a Jeep. And I don't know if you see the Darth Vader face on the bucket.
Oh.
It's simple, but that was the look. Yeah, that was an easy job. It was a very small seat, and those were actually very light to carry, and they were easy to do. The customer was very happy.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I love the details. Really, really.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I haven't really been doing too much because, again, I had COVID. So the past few jobs were not as complicated like they usually are. But I'm really happy with the outcome. It just took me a lot longer to finish a product. It took me more weeks than the usual. But health is always, your priority. But yeah, I had to suffer a little bit.
Wow. That was a long time for you to recuperate too.
Yeah. Well, I went to the doctors a few times after, and they just said, just keep coming back next month, and we're gonna check your blood, your iron, and I had to do IV therapy and everything when it comes, for that, so I can continue to work because I cannot live without working. I just love what I do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it did take me a while.
So we're gonna like skip around a lot. So Nicta, if Maddie, if you guys have questions, break in at any time. But remind us again, how'd you come up with the name of Zulema Custom Interiors?
So, the picture that the picture that we're showing right now, it's funny because I like to be extremely creative with my work. And if you show the next picture, you will see what that picture meant. So those are the yolks for the same airplane that we were just looking at. And the name of the dye of the leather is called cobalt. So that's the leather, right? So then I went to Walmart, and then I was looking for gum, and then I see this package of gum called Cobalt, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna use it as a model since I'm a fashion designer. So I just grabbed the gum and I started taking pictures, and it was just a good look because the thread is blue, just like the packaging for the gum. So I don't know. I'm just creating. Like, I don't know if people are accepting what I'm doing, but it does gum and the yolks, I don't know. I just combined them. It looked good. And I took the picture and I posted it on my site. Everything is just a hit and miss,
I love it. I love the creativity. I love it because it's spontaneous and it's unique. I love that.
Yeah, and you allow yourself to explore.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I mean, that's life, it could be a fail too. People could not really respond well to that, but it's my company, so yeah.
That's the thing I think about being a creative, like they say, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So sometimes, you get inspiration and you're like, oh, this is a cool idea, this is beautiful, and then you're kind of afraid to take it out there because you're like, am I just overreacting, or is this gonna be cool? But kudos to you for being brave and kind of putting your ideas out there. This is beautiful to me and this is why. And I think that's, como mi papá siempre dice, el aguaje es la mitad del cuento. So aguaje in Dominican Republic is when you try to be something that you're not. So yeah, so he says, you know, kind of like fake it until you make it. That's kind of like what that means. So this is beautiful to me and this is why. And then you go out there and you say, you sell it and then people just buy it. So felicidades por eso.
Thank you. I did one time a dash that was a dashboard for a car that was orange. So I was eating Twizzlers. So I just grabbed the package and I just put Twizzlers on the table. And I got like a lot of likes on no, I think it was Facebook. So, but it was like, I'm just using models because that's what we do. Whenever you do a photo shoot for pair of pants, you combine a beautiful model with red hair, with a wallet, you accessorize the picture. So that's basically what I'm doing. The picture that we're looking at right now is called Mystic Mood. It was my first gradient look. So if you see, I purchased different colors of vinyl, the Pew leather. And that was, I don't know, when I finished the product, we can go to the next slide and you can see more of the seating. You see that gradient look. Once I finished the product and I took pictures, then that's when I came up with the name, Mystic Mood. Every single job that I do has kind of like an inspiration to it, like the creativity. And basically it's like my little fashion collection. Because everything, all of the seats it's not just one seat, it's probably like 17 pieces, and everything has the same look, the same fashion collection. So I'm never going to take away the fashion sense that I have in anything that I do. And I guess that's why I'm so different than the other shops. I'm not sure, but I love fashion. So yeah.
If it makes what your work, it makes it feel so much more elevated because you're adding that fashion element, that it's not just upholstery covering, like you're creating this whole experience. Elevas la experiencia con lo que estás creando y la gente se siente no tan solo cómoda, pero se siente como que cuando uno se pone una pinta que you love how you look, que se siente, oh my gosh, I feel really great about myself. That's what I see in the work that you do. So I can even see people who want to take pictures in that. It's part of their environment now because it makes it look so aesthetically beautiful and elevated. So yeah, I love what you've been doing. Yo tenía una pregunta.
Mm-hmm.
So I know, I'm so sorry you went through COVID. I know the last time I got it, I think it was like the second or third time, it took me about a month to recover. I had a lot of brain fog. I felt very slow. As a creative in that time, how did you process? Because sometimes our creative brains will keep going, even though our bodies might still be going through a recovery phase. So how did you kind of, or did you experience these things where your brain was still wanting to create at some sort of level, but knowing you needed to pause to then kind of recover to be at this place where you're at right now?
I didn't pause, to be honest. Like I went to the doctors a lot, so I saw a lot of white. So whenever I created my seats, I would just make them in white and gray because I wasn't visualizing a lot of colors. So I can be inspired by a flower, or I can be inspired by nail polish, which happens a lot because I'm addicted to nail polish. But, and I use them as models too. But the creativity never stops. It never does.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. What we're seeing right now may not make sense, but if you go to the next slide, you will see that what was created from that vinyl that I painted. See, that's the paint that I used to create that, to paint the trimming. But if you go to the next slide, we had Halloween, right? So that is a Santa Muerte or that Day of the Dead inspired accessories. You don't have to get your seats done. You can just accessorize your vehicle with a little purse. You could do your center console. You could do a wallet, the mats, just accessorize your vehicle, just like fashion. And that was a very creative. Oh my gosh, I love to sew. So what I do to create that exact silhouette in seams, I just print a picture out. I just find a picture on Google that I see has simple lining, and I place it on top of the vinyl, and I just sew on top of it. That's so it's a very easy task, but the outcome is just, oh my gosh, I love it. So I'm like excited just looking at it.
You make it look easy, because I'm sure if either one of us were to try what you're doing, it would not look that beautiful. I'm just
It
being
is.
honest. You
It is easy. It is. Anything, I guess anything that you're passionate about, you're like, you know what? I'm gonna figure out how to do this. And if it's like because you want to do it. You want to have a good outcome. So you're like, you know what? I'll make it happen. Just
Yeah, that's when your gifts and talents are exposed because you're passionate. You probably think about it in the middle of the night.
I do. I do. Like even like painting, like because the binding, I do not they don't sell binding that is colorful. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna paint it, you know? So it's just that creativity, I guess, that I have in art and fashion. I'm just using that in problem solving as well, you know. But I'm very passionate about what I do. And I'm so glad that finally I don't have COVID anymore and I'm just not seeing gray and white. I'm seeing color again. Because I did have a rough time, unfortunately.
Oh my God, that would be terrible. I think for all of us here on the show, if we didn't see color.
Yeah. Yeah. And I couldn't taste. It was bad.
So you're getting a lot of comments. People that are watching us just complimenting your work. Muy bien, felicidades. ¿Qué más? Good to see you from Olga. She said to tell you, good to see you. Buenas tardes, Kauri. Nicauri Jackson con Amaya y Julian. Si ven el nombre de Nicauri Jackson, se tiene que mencionar Amaya porque ella tiene 1 año y ella también ve nuestro show y Julian creo que tiene 6 años. So hay que darle sus saludos a ellos también. Creo que no alcanzaste porque mostramos las fotos, pero sí quiero que nos digas un poquito del nombre de tu negocio y cómo sacaste el nombre de tu negocio y si tú te llamas Karen, porque es su lema.
No, mi nombre es Karin Rojas, pero mis negocios siempre han tenido el nombre de mi mamá porque yo siempre, como mi mamá falleció cuando yo tenía 6 años y siempre tenía esa, como I always missed her. Like when I would go to school, I would see children with their moms and I would be like, oh, I wish my mom was here. So whenever I became an adult, I'm very passionate about owning businesses. So like that just comes natural to me. So when I opened my first business, I called it Graphic Z, meaning Graphic Zulema. And then later on, I had my alteration shop. So I just call it Zulema's Alterations. And I call it Zulema Fashions. And I call it, Zulema Everything. So basically, it's just like what do you call it? Like for my mom, I don't know the word.
De memoria de tu mamá.
In memoria de mi mamá, sí. So and also it's like a beautiful name, I think. And when I looked it up, it means beautiful. So I just kind of felt that, she deserves it. And she's the one who taught me how to paint. When I'm, when you're like 6 and 5 years old and you're trying to color inside of the line. Well, she's the one who taught me how to do that. And those are the memories that I have of my mom. So I guess that my businesses that have creativity are for her because she's the one behind it.
Yeah, so she's still alive through your work, through your creativity, and you get to experience her all the time, every time you work. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, when I come in the office, like I have a sign Zulema, and the way that I see it, I know I'm the one creating everything, but I don't see it as my business. The way that I see it is I work, I'm an employee, because I am an employee, but I feel like my mom is the owner, is her name. That's how I see it. And the picture here is a customer from Coastal Virginia. What is the organization? Coastal Virginia Auto Show, I believe. It's the president for that organization. He said that he heard about my company. So he just walked in and he was like, I want you to, design the interior of my car. So I made the seats and the purse for his wife. He was really happy.
Yeah, that's nice. I love the purses, all the pictures that you have shown us, or the products that you have in your website. I love the purses when they match the car. It's just so unique. It looks so nice. I love it.
Yeah, I had a customer who, if I showed you, well, I don't know if I can access my website, but the theme of the vehicle was military inspired seats. So I made a Molly. I don't know if you're familiar, but it's a Molly setup that militaries use in the front of their uniform, their outfit. And that's where they put their like grenade pouches and stuff like that. So I made the Molly setup on the back of the seats. And he wanted me to make cargo pants that had camel print on it, just like the leather that was printed in camel. And I was like, well, that's a great idea, but I have a lot of work. So I could not fulfill what he had in mind. But I think that customers also can be creative and say, you know what, you can accessorize it with this, you can accessorize it with that. And I'm like, yes, that's like happiness to me. Like, just the creative part. And then they show that those items, those accessories in the car show. And then I get more clients for that. So I'm just living my life. I'm amazed at how much customers love the work and they want me to, I'm actually delighted that they wanted to hire me as a designer. So
Beautiful. Yeah. Karin, let me ask you. I know. So I'm a poet, so I write poetry, and every time like you do a poem, and yeah, it's fantastic, and then it's like, okay, I gotta write another one, and it has to be equally as great. So you put that pressure on yourself, and it's like, what am I gonna talk about? How am I gonna say it? What's gonna come out? And like in that moment, you kind of panic, and you're like, I have nothing. Like nothing that I'm gonna say is gonna sound as cool as that one did. So for you, creating, I know, I mean, like I see it in you every time you're like, we're going down through the pictures, and you're like, oh, that one, and it was like so exciting. Oh, and I did that one. Is there a particular job that you have done that you could say this has been my best, and that you kind of try to top that one? Or is every job that you do kind of different and special in its own way? Like how do you push the boundaries, you know what I'm saying, of your creativity?
Well, I always feel that visually every job that is the latest is the best, because if I compare the latest job to the one that I did 5 years ago, there's no comparison. The quality is always there because I'm a good seamstress. I mean, I consider myself to be a good seamstress. The quality is there, but when it comes to creativity, job number 4 taught me something for job number 7, and now I'm at 27 pages of work. So every single latest job is always my best. I think that for now, the latest is the Day of the Dead. Like I've never done a drawing on materials. So this is the first time that I had to draw. So I kind of feel it, I kind of feel like with the paint and with the drawing, and the image is exactly the same on each panel, I just feel like that's the best. But again, tomorrow I'm actually doing another one right now. I'm doing an Oldsmobile with Alcantara. Now, Alcantara is one of the most expensive pieces of material that you can purchase. It is about $320 per yard. And I am so afraid of messing it up, because if I mess it up, then that's going to be out of my pocket. But the customer is saying, this is your best work so far. I'm like, yes, it is. So every single latest job is always the best. It should be, I think.
Yeah, that's a good point. I wanted to ask you, how do you stay on top of your craft? Is there like certain material that you find? Is there like an organization for people that do custom interior design? Like, how do you stay on top? I know you have your own creativity, and maybe you have a project and you kind of like just figure it out, right? Like you make it happen. But is there any type of studying that you do, or some type of program or organization that you're a member of to keep on top of your task, of your gift?
Well, I am very curious. So I'm a member of like 100 groups of upholstery. And there are some designers out there. So I mainly follow that. And I also follow Vogue. I follow fashion magazines. And I get a lot of my inspiration from both. It's like fashion is always the background. So I kind of feel like that's how I get on, that's how I stay on top of it, because I'm able to combine both very easily. But I also, I signed up for these classes every single Sunday, and it's just like a computer, it's a group. I forgot the name of it. Newbies Upholsteries. It's on a Facebook page. That group has classes that certain members record on at home or their shop, and they post that every single Sunday. So I'm always watching that. So I learn different skill sets from these people who are in Oregon, they are in California, they're, Peru, they're in different countries. So I'm very curious. I always like to learn different skills.
I think our producer wanted to know, what was your dream job what's a dream job that you haven't had yet?
A dream job?
Yeah, what would be your dream job to do, but you haven't done it yet?
To work for NASA, to do the seats for NASA. That's because I say that because I started doing boats only. No, I started doing furniture. No, I started doing purses a while back. So with my brand increasing, I was doing boats and cars. Then I started doing aircraft. And I was like, okay, automarine aircraft. What if it's beyond that? So I've always had in my mind, how do I get to work for NASA so I can say automarine aircraft and beyond? But that would be my dream.
Ella quiere sus muebles en la luna.
Sí.
No, but I'm sure that they have to sit somewhere, So who will do the upholstery?
You would.
You have no idea how many times I've been to that office. I'm very, I'm very consistent. I'm trying. My job will be to work for the NASA, the dream job.
Hey,
and I'm sure you're gonna make it happen. See?
Yeah.
And I'm sure you're gonna make it happen. Yeah, next time you're gonna tell us, hey, guess what? I have another contract for 5 years with them.
That'll be amazing. That will be my dream. But I do have goals with this company, and I want this brand to be known worldwide. And I do feel that I'm fulfilling that dream by working on airplanes, because they go to different countries. And my tag, my brand is being seen everywhere. So that's always been my dream. Even when I was a fashion designer, I always said I want my brand to be known worldwide. That's my goal, my life goal. And I'm happy to be a Hispanic woman doing that, because we dream big.
Yeah, definitely. I just think that the work that you do is so unique, and it's definitely possible. You could do NASA, you could do, any organization that you want to. So do you have a plan in place as how you can infiltrate that market?
You're talking about NASA?
See.
I'm always looking at their website for work. There is a specific application that I have to file, but they're not taking applications, and that link is down. So I'm always calling. I'm always showing up to their office, and I'm there talking to the receptionist. I've been there probably like 4 times already in the past like 3 years, but I'm very consistent. I just know that it'll happen. I don't have another way than knowing that it will happen. That's
Yeah.
always my thing. Like if you want it, it will happen for you.
Yeah, it made me think of last night I was watching The Pursuit of Happiness. And I don't know if you guys remember, like he keeps going because he wants to be a stockbroker. So he shows up and, he talks to the guy. He goes to the guy's house because he missed an appointment. So he's very persistent. And in a lot of business books, like that is the recipe, right? Is the persistence. And I think it's the thoughts. We've talked about how powerful our thoughts and our words are. I know that's why people do vision boards, because it's like, sometimes you can actually visualize yourself inside of there doing the job, right? And I think those are things that you attract because like you already have, in my opinion, perfected your craft. Right. And of course, it can get better every time. But just sometimes you will be in one place, even maybe because the four of us are talking about it, it's going to get quicker to you. But you could be in one place and meet that one person that will get you in the door. The same thing that happened with the contract that you were negotiating for the airport, right? It just takes one person, one event. You could go into the website like you do and just say, oh my God, look, that's the opportunity for me to, be able to step in the door and just kind of make it happen. And it works like that all the time. I know for me in my business, sometimes I could be thinking something, saying something, and then within days, sometimes hours, somebody calls and it has to do with that thing that I experienced. I love it.
Well, the way that I think is that you're saying it takes one person. I feel like I'm that one person, that will make it happen. Because I know that a lot of friends, I have friends who are like, oh, maybe one person will discover you. I'm that person. That's how I see it. I think that in one's lives, you are that person. You don't have to wait for an opportunity for one person to give an opportunity. Yeah. You are that person who's going to make it happen. Because once you believe it and you're like, well, there's no way, but I'm persistent. I want it. I have the work ethic. Because I'm a Hispanic, I have that quality that Hispanics, we have that work ethic. So that makes me feel like a little above, because I'm a workaholic. But what I was saying is that I believe that this is meant to be. There's no way about it. I've always felt like that when I was 12 years old. I've always said, I'm going to make things happen. I'm going to have something that's going to be noticeable worldwide. And it hasn't happened yet, I don't think, but it's starting to happen. I'm probably at 2% now.
Yeah, but I think, Mark, is this show ran internationally? So you're getting exposure.
Yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so this would be a great time for me to let our audience know that Latinos contribute $3.4 trillion to the economy. And that's just counting some of the money. So I think about 10% of the population in the United States are Latinos. And there's a percentage of female Latinas. There's a percentage of just entrepreneurs or non-entrepreneurs. But our show is seen in other countries. I know it's live right now through Pot TV on Roku. But Roku does allow Pot TV to run our shows at an international level. And it runs throughout the week as well. So you definitely are getting exposure. And maybe we can get some countries for Mark to tell us some of the countries where it runs. And when it runs in other countries, like let's say, for example, I think Russia is one of the countries, they will have the subtitles in Russian to translate what we're saying.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, so don't just think it's happening right now. It's happening all week. So we get Mark does a great job at exposing our show because we bring diversity, right? We bring diversity. What we're doing here is very unique. Just the four of us, even being on the stage, we come from different worlds, but we have a lot of things that are common as well. So yeah, we definitely are adding to your international goals in life with your business, Karin. So no worries, we got you.
Thank you. Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely. Makes me so happy, to be honest. Like, I just love the Latino culture. I do, because we work so hard. You know, when we come to this country, we start at zero, and which makes it a lot harder without the language, without money. You know what we go through. And for us to, you know, be able to say, hey, I have a business, I'm the owner of this, and it's flourishing. It's just such an amazing thing, such an amazing feeling.
Nikte, can you say those countries for us that Mark just put in the chat for us as to where everybody sees our show?
Yes, I can. Russia, India, Colombia, Uruguay, Zambia, Nigeria, Kenya, Australia, Canada, France, Spain, and Italy. And there's more. There is Venezuela, Brazil, and Belize.
Brazil.
Yeah,
That's
Belize.
awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yes.
Very international.
Yeah, so yeah. Or he said that's a few of them. But yeah, it does run international, so you know other people in other countries can see our show. Definitely Maddie, I wanted to ask you, right? Because I know last time we talked about Sulema Custom Interiors and we talked about jewelry. And tell me when, because I know especially you guys are a little bit more creative than I am when it comes to like colors and fashion. Like I will wear these all the time. Like it's hard for me to. So mi primo, he's like, "Oh, andas con el uniforme puesto," and I'm like, "Yeah," you know. So sometimes I branch out, but Maddie branches out all the time, and so does Nick Day. So I want you to talk a little bit, Maddie, about just how creative people are in that. So because there's creativities in different ways. You know, there's like creative writers. There's that you're just writing stuff, but tell me, Maddie, like because I see the excitement in you guys when Karin talks about certain things, because you got, it's like more like with your hands, like you're building stuff, right? And I love to see other people do it. Like that excites me, right? But you guys actually do it with your own hands. Like tell me what that feels like.
I think, it's like, so again, I'm a writer, but I also do a lot of crafting. So I love to decorate my house. So like now for Christmas, what I've been doing crafting so that I can display it during Christmas. So it's like YouTube video, watching a YouTube video and be like, oh, I can do that. And then you come home and you buy all the materials and then you do it and it actually looks nice. And it's like, oh my God, I did that. It makes it extra special, So like this year I'm decorating, I'm doing a candy theme. So I've been watching like videos like how to make like fake candy. So and I've been using yarn because you guys know that I crochet like with a big thick yarn. So I did my door wreath is a crochet door wreath decorated with candy decorations, and it turned, I have done a crochet wreath but not like that, so this one turned out really nice, so I love it. And I'm like, I had one person that came into the house and she's like, I've never seen a crochet wreath, so it's that, like, doing something that maybe somebody else didn't think about, or maybe they've seen it but you do it better. I don't know, so it's like there's something about something that you did with your own hands that is actually beautiful and that other people are attracted to it. Because like I was saying, sometimes what's beautiful to me might not be necessarily beautiful to you, but me doing something that is beautiful and you actually looking at it like, that is beautiful, I want that in my house too, it just takes it to a whole nother level.
Yeah, it made me think of how Nikte, I don't know if you did it live on the show, Nikte, but when you did the Halloween thing for your son with the book bag,
Oh, yeah, no. I don't know. Did I do it live? I cannot remember. I think I might have just been posting it online for this Halloween cost. Because Maddie, as you were talking about doing that, like Halloween for me is like my favorite. And I don't like the sexy Halloween version. Let's just put it nicely. I like the scary, like gory ones. So this year I DIY'd everything. I love doing prosthetics, experimenting with like the thing. And so I did this backpack that came over from behind my son, and it had kind of like it looked like it was a Freddy Krueger guy's face, but not really. But it was like he was burnt, and I had put like blood all over. And so it looked like he was dismembered, como que it was just the back, the guy in the backpack was holding the top of my son, and then he had his feet, and everybody was like, oh my god, I thought that was another kid behind him. Like, and my son loved that everyone was saying his costume was scary. And then mine and my husband's were from the Terrifier, the movie, where it's like that really scary white clown. And we had bought the cowl, or like the mask, and I just put some blood. I made it thick so it looked actually real. And my husband was not intentionally scaring kids, but he just was, it looked really scary. And then I painted my face. So yeah, I love all these things about being creative. I love getting my hands dirty. I try to do my nails, but because I get my hands dirty, they don't last that long. So yeah, I can't do acrylics.
It don't matter.
No, I can't do acrylics. I have to keep my no me da.
I love acrylics. I can't have them though because my work. I love acrylics.
For your work, yeah. That's what the thing is. These little things that we appreciate from things that we like to do. I love how they look on others. I just don't like how they feel on my finger. I'm very sensory touch, and I feel like they kind of get in the way. But anyways, I love this whole idea of exploring creativity. I think too, what I've seen with so many creatives is that we don't stick in one lane. Like Maddie, you were saying, have your poetry, Karin, you like multifaceted creative, that you just don't stick on one lane. We're able to apply that process and that curiosity to other areas. So I feel like that's very inspiring. And I think now that we're ending this new year, it could also be inspiring for our listeners, la gente que nos está escuchando, de que no dejen de intentar cosas nuevas. Todo el mundo puede ser creativo. Everybody can be creative. Never stop learning and trying things out. Like, we've been saying, try it out, believe in yourself, improve every step is improving the process. Cada cosa que haces va mejorando y mejorando y mejorando, y disfrutar.
And it's like therapeutic, ¿verdad?
It is very.
It's very funny because every time I'm crafting or doing, something, like I tend to isolate myself and like just be in a room for hours. So like my family, she's upstairs doing whatever, or she's leave her alone, and my sister-in-law, she calls me, she's like, you didn't pick up the phone. Well, I was crafting. Oh, okay. She's like, don't bother her, leave her alone, so like everybody knows, okay, I'm busy, I'm doing something, I'm creating something. And then when I finish, I'm like texting everybody, pick up the phone, look what I did. Now you gotta look at it.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. Karin, again, we love your work. You're very inspiring to women of all ages, and just to us, because we're entrepreneurs, we're creators, and it just I just think it's amazing what you do, and definitely you will always be invited to the show to give us updates, because the growth, I mean, March, es como 7 meses fue la última vez que viniste. And so you were talking about the negotiations with your contract with the airport, but now it's alive and, you have your contract. So we love to hear the growth that you're doing within your company. It's extremely inspiring. I just want to tell you that.
And I have to add, like, your background. I don't know if this is tu taller donde trabajas, pero it's just amazing that you are here looking flawless, hair on point, the earrings, the outfit. You look amazing, beautiful. And then you have all those tools in the background. It's like, boss lady. Yes, 1,000%. So yeah. I love that.
My hashtag is handy seamstress. That's how you can find me on social media. But I do want to let the listeners know that the job is easy, very happy to be creative, but a lot of people do put me down. They make jokes like I wouldn't trust a woman with my car, which is like very demeaning. So if you ever experience someone trying to lower you, never allow that. Just never allow that. Just believe in yourself and just keep going.
Oh
But
yeah.
I did get a very difficult time during the beginning of my business. But I just, it doesn't bother me. To be honest, it doesn't bother me. It's just very common, and I've learned to be stronger and to not allow that to affect my work.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I'm sure Maddie
And
has a poem to go align with that. Uh, but it's just again, in marketing books, business books, expect the haters. They're
Mhm.
gonna be there.
Yeah.
Just do with them when they come.
Yes.
And you know what I always hear is that sometimes people hate on those that because they're doing something that they want to do, that they don't even have the agallas or the balls to do it, or they just want it the easy way route. So I just want to celebrate you because I guarantee you those haters are not doing what you're doing, don't have this amazing contract with an airport, an exclusive contract. And I am sure that you're going to be updating us at one point where you're working with NASA. So the sky or the space is the limit for you, and keep shining. I love that you said never let the haters bring you down, because there's plenty of haters, but there's plenty of creativity to keep you going.
That's right. Yep. But thank you again, Karin, for giving us your time, because I know it's very valuable. And we just, again, amazing work that you do. It's, me da escalofrío when I say that, honestly. I just love it. I think it's amazing. So, gracias por estar con nosotros hoy. Y ahora vamos a terminar con el poema de Mary, que siempre nos da al fin del show.
Trying to unmute and I have the wrong mouse in my mouth. Anyway, so I was gonna say success is the biggest revenge. So tu éxito es la mejor pecosada sin mano, decimos nosotros, para todos los haters. So keep up the good work, and amazingly proud of you just for being, like not knowing you personally, but just being a woman and doing what you're doing and being out there and making all of us proud. And of course, being a huge part of the 3.4 million trillion or whatever, a lot of money that we are spending and contributing to the economy. Anyway, so I'm gonna do this poem that I've done before. I did earlier this year, but now I've been competing with it, so I've been performing it, so it's a little bit more polished. And last time I read it, and this time I'm gonna say it from memory. So it goes with what we're talking about. Sometimes, we let outside experiences affect us inside, to the point that sometimes we doubt ourselves, and we have to fight that voice and that thing inside of us so that we can be the best version of ourselves. So, Spanish word of the day is cuaima. Definition of a cuaima. A cuaima is an agile, a venomous snake, a viper, a master of disguise, shows you a color to draw you in, and on the other shows you who she really is, a dark two-faced monster that can slowly kill. Definition of insecurity: lack of self-confidence, anxiety, the fear of not being enough, slithers in with lies that become your truth and tells you who she really is, a dark two-faced monster that can slowly kill. To the cuaima inside that has made a living of terrorizing me, you are done, and this is your pink slip. I want you to know this inside. I want you to know I've had enough. My determination has led to your immediate termination, because it seems that all the hard work to build myself up, to reconstruct, always seemed to disappear each time you show up. You made me think that I was worthless, that I didn't deserve anyone to fight for me, not even me. Didn't expect this luchadora to fight the demons you threw her way all by myself. Because even when I thought I had a partner waiting by the ropes, it was just Jake, the snake, waiting to draw me in, so I didn't tag bag even though I was pinned. Enough. This anxiety, the snake I've been afraid of all of my life, the fear of being swallowed whole by the longest snake in the world, being restricted of love, boa constricted crush, tears kissing my cheeks, unable to breathe, mouthing through the snake skin, only to realize no one could hear me. We've been spent so much time fighting for control. You taking over this garden like a bushmaster ready to destroy, but I refuse to give up. You made me think that I was weak, but all this time I had all the strength I needed inside me. I will be just fine without you, but you will disappear without me. You are a leech, and I refuse to keep bleeding so that you could live. I wish I could tablespoon you some of your own hate, make you rattle, make it hurt, cry until you disintegrate, get swallowed by the earth, and maybe end up in hell. May the burning never end. Dear Quaima, it is time I cut off the head, give myself some props, and be proud of the woman that I've become, for not letting pieces of the ugly moments define the beautiful that is my life, for staying afloat, for not letting myself die, even after your deadly bite. Each time I keep choosing to save my life, injecting myself with pride, dignity, and all the love that I could find, becoming a snake charmer, making that snake do whatever it is told, like get back in your basket and snap that flute in half, because the music I will play moving forward is reserved for my own victory dance.
I told you she had a poem for it. La Guayma.
Love it. It's my favorite,
Beautiful.
man.
That's Nikki's favorite, La Guayma.
I got like big goosebumps too.
Thank you. Very, 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 very inspiring, Maddie. Very powerful. I love it.
It's amazing. Very creative.
Very creative. Thank you. Bueno, espero a Olga Torres manda saludes, Nicauri Jackson, a todo mundo le encanta el poema de la Cuaima. Y la próxima vez vamos a hablar de la Cuaima un poquito más, ¿ok, Nicte? Porque yo sé que ahorita quieres hablar de la Cuaima, pero ya se nos acabó la hora. Entonces, la próxima vez vamos a hablar de la Cuaima bien, le vamos a dar su tiempo. Pero espero que tengan una semana excelente. I hope you have an amazing, excellent week. Be productive and live in your passion, you know, activate your passion and live in it and do everything that you can. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Maddie, Nicte, Karin. Gracias por tu tiempo de nuevo y espero que tengan una semana muy especial.
Gracias por la
Muchas
invitación.
gracias.
Hasta el próximo domingo a las 4 de la tarde.
Adiós.
Whether you're a seasoned designer, dabbler, or just starting out, this course is for you.
If you're watching this with your friends, you'll probably make a joke.
Because you know what you feel on the inside
isn't what you want people to know.
If you have to pretend to be happy,
find someone you trust and tell them.
If you get mad at things and you don't know why, or have thoughts about hurting yourself,
find someone you trust and tell them.
You are never alone when you share.
Seriously, people care about you.
It's okay to not understand what you're feeling.
And it's easy to think that you're all alone.
But you don't have to be.
You're never alone when you share.
Don't be ashamed to tell someone you trust what you're feeling.
You're not alone.
You are not alone.
Find someone you trust and tell them.
Tell a parent.
Tell a teacher. Tell a brother or sister.
Or just tell a friend.
You haven't done anything wrong.
Talk to someone.
Talk to someone.
It's how things get better.
Are just so impressed with them. Like I said, we've been with them for years. I will recommend and refer anyone to them. We stand by A+ academics. They're the best.
A+ tutorial really did help me with all my grades. They all went up when I came to this place. And I would say I recommend this school to everyone.
So it's a really good environment to be in, especially for me because it makes me look up to my parents.
If you have students that need academic help, A+ Academics is the place to be. A+ Academics, what a great place to go for academics.
It's just a really great place to learn.